Hey everyone, this is Dave. Google's Core Web Vitals update comes out in a few days. That is May of 2021. They're going to start that rollout sometime during May and probably across May. So those of you with slower web pages are going to get hit harder. Those of you with quicker web pages are going to get raised up. It's going to be a seesaw effect that has a lot more to do with page speed than anything else. So if you don't know anything about what's going on there, look up Google Core Web Vitals, May 2021 maybe, and just read up on it, okay? Because it's a big thing for rank, okay? Now, here's what's interesting. We've put a lot of time and effort into that and some other things with our sites that are extremely interesting. I'm going to have to do this in a couple of pieces, but I want to do this piece real quick. So let's compare ourselves to our top competitors when it comes to page loading speed. I just want to point this out. What slows down a page? Video. So if you have a web page and somebody clicks on your web page and it loads for them, if you have a link to a YouTube video, then it has to go fetch that video from YouTube and populate it on your page, right? That's something that slows down your web page for the browser, for the guy who's visiting. Then there's Google Maps. So when you pull in a Google map, that's another script that has to go somewhere else and make a request and receive that request. So that goes into your page. That also slows down your page load. You know what else can slow down your page load? Fonts. Most fonts are delivered these days from Google Fonts, actually, because it's live and it's updated, and there are different kind of fonts you can get. The list is huge. So So usually, if you were to look real fast, you could almost see it sometimes, is when a web page loads and it loads in like Times New Roman or some default font, maybe Arial, and then all of a sudden it switches to what the font should be. Yeah, that's because as the page is loading, it's trying to pull in the right font coding for the page too. So it slows down the page load. So lack of minification, that means too much white space in the coding, also slows down the page load. So those and images themselves, great big images, say, or a lot of images, that slows down the page load. So when you're trying to make a page load faster, Google doesn't want you to remove images and videos and maps and things. That's not what it's measuring. It's measuring how efficiently you're able to pull those in. Are you using the latest coding for pulling in YouTube videos, pulling in Google Maps, pulling in font? Are you minifying the coding in your pages? Are your images optimized? All that kind of thing, right? So it gives us tools to be able to analyze our web pages. And for those of you that don't know about it, it's cool because you can go analyze your own. So I just want to show you the front page of our competitors, a few of them, for interesting comparisons, because I was kind of surprised when I looked, right? This is WordPress.com, okay? $1 billion company as of recently, because they got a grant for like 340 million or something like that, just a while ago, like a couple of weeks or so. So now they are a $1 billion company. So we're looking at their front page, and there's no video on it, and there's no Google Maps on it. And so it's not loading a lot of stuff, right? Anyway, let's take a look at their page speed though. And it's, pretty good. It's not terrible, but here's what's funny. It does not pass the Core Web Vitals assessment. Do you see that in red? Does not pass, okay? So also, if we look at their coding itself, they haven't even minified it. See all the white space? For those of you that don't know, I want to point this out real quick. This is the concept of white space on a browser. The quick brown fox. Have you ever started typing something and you fell asleep and you just kind of kept hitting the button and it just kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, right? And then you woke up and realized what you did, right? And you're like, oh, for crying out loud. And then you take it out and you start over again. Well, for those of you who don't know, browsers, when they load pages and they read the code, they do not actually see line breaks. Line breaks are just characters that say line breaks. So it's kind of like the quick brown fox, and then a character called LB, you could almost say, jumped over the lazy dog, you know, and you could have another LB in Chicago last year, okay? And that would be like 3 line breaks the way a browser really sees it. So browsers give the illusion that they're creating these line breaks, but it's not real to a browser. When a browser loads the page, it literally has to start with the very first character and read across, and it has to keep reading this way. The entire page is really wrapped up to the side going this way. So it literally has to read every white space in between all of these things to read the entire page. Now, if you look, there is more white space than there is coding. So it's wasted. The white space, all that, it literally has to look and go, is there a character here? No. Mark it a space. Is there something here? No. Mark it a space. Mark it a space. Mark it a space. Mark it a... until it gets all the way down to here. You know, and it's just doing line breaks because it knows that we should see it that way, right? That's just the way the character interprets. Now, that's crazy. So they aren't really trying hard, are they? I mean, they're not even passing. Does not pass. Big red letters. Okay, let's take a look at Wix, right? I'll move quicker now that I made that point. Same thing, no videos, no Google Maps. Okay, simple, plain page, not very deep. You know, these guys rely on a lot of money spent branding, right? Oh my gosh, look at that. Their mobile is horrible. See, these scores are 1 to 100. It's got a score for mobile and a score for desktop, right? Since those are measured differently, you can rank differently on a mobile phone than you can on a desktop. You might come in on the number 7 spot on a desktop, but not even be on page 1 on a mobile. Maybe you're on the number 14th spot on a mobile, right? Because it's kind of harder to rank for a mobile. Mobile scores are harder to get up for everyone. But sure enough, does not pass the Core Web Vitals assessment. Isn't that weird? I mean, Google's warning everyone, okay? And when you look at their source code, same exact thing. It's lines and lines and lines. How many lines have we got here? About 4,000 lines. And look at this. I mean, some of this is just one little character surrounded by tons of white space, right? And the white space really runs to the end of every line. Okay, so that's insane. Now, when you go to Joomla, you know, it's kind of the same thing. No video, no Google Map. Page speed does not pass, okay? 87 and 90, it's kind of cool, but it does not pass. So why would it not pass? Because they're not trying hard enough. There are a number of things that they can do which would really, really help them if they took the time to make these changes, right? Some of these changes are harder, some are easier. It's really, really hard to make all those changes, especially if you have certain functions and features which get in the way. We do, but they don't pass, and that's a problem. So if you look again, they're not even minified, right? Again. So now, last one, Weebly. Okay, same thing, no maps, no Google image, no video. And again, same thing, bad on a mobile, you know, desktops, you know, a chunk higher, but does not pass. Okay. So if we look at their source code, same thing now. All right. They're not even trying. Now, here's the thing. I'm actually looking at their front pages, not their individual templates, because, hey, these are billion-dollar companies. You would think that they have the budget, the time, the resources to update their main pages of their site. They must be interested. And if they're not, it's because, hey, they spend tons and tons on branding, so everyone knows who they are, and they just haven't prioritized this anytime recently. Maybe they will later. But we are not billion-dollar companies. We have to actually, when it comes to rank, we have to earn it. We have to actually work our way up the ladder. Well, since Core Web Vitals is going to be a big help if you can master it, we got into mastering it. So I want to point this out. I'm going to show you these 4 baseline templates that we have. Okay, and don't worry if you don't like the templates at all, because it doesn't matter. We can do this with literally any template. I'm going to show you that we're doing this with thousands that we have under our control right now, and we're just adding to the stack. And any template you point, if you said, Dave, I want the front of WordPress, this template converted to theme to HTML with my admin panel attached to it, all these fonts the same and the images kind of the same, I mean, we could do it, right? Now, it wouldn't help you if we just simply took their template and made it yours complete as it is, because Google's going to see it as just simply plagiarized, right? A lot of people have tried to copy the front page of WordPress and put it up under a new name. You can bet. But as far as just getting the basic template, Okay, changing out all the images and stuff, but saving the basic layout of information on the page. Nobody has any kind of rights over that because nobody can copyright just simply, I want a big blue box with some of these images here. There's nothing to copyright, okay? So you could use anyone's anything and make your own template version out of it, right? Nobody can copyright these, okay? They're standard. Okay, but my point is we can take any website on the internet and we can convert it and make it work just as well as what we've got. So don't let the scope fool you. Here's what we did do. We took these front pages and we overloaded them, okay? So how to put it? On this website, okay, it's got a lot of varying randomized backlink generations for geo. It's pulling in not just a YouTube video, it's pulling in 9 YouTube videos in the front end. Then it goes through all these other randomized variant backlink combinations, okay, in different stacks. And then it goes through a chunk of good information for the front page, okay? And this is totally readable, even if it's randomized, it's readable and unique according to Google. And it's got backlinks in the contents, okay? And then when you come down here, there's a live Google map, not a Google image, okay? And so that's all here, but not only that. After it loads the main page, it has to load the sidebar, and when it does, there are images it has to load. See how many images we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know. Yeah, 6, I guess. And then 7, 8, 9 images, and it loads another YouTube video and another live map. Okay, so this has to load asynchronously, comes after the whole page loads. So with a whopping 10 YouTube videos and 2 Google Maps and a bunch of images and a whole lot of content with these generated links from this big var sheet with, I think there's 3,500 columns on this var sheet. And we made a 50,000 page website out of this, okay? What does this look like scoring wise? Okay, so I'm going to go to view source, and this is the coding. See how clean this is? This has been minified. See the scroll bar down here? Goes way, way, way to the right because this is how you get rid of a lot of the extra white space. Okay, now, there are still some line breaks. Like right here, you see one right after this. There's a line break. That's because in the coding, there has to be a line break for some HTML codes so that they operate properly. But very few, right? So yeah, we had to methodically go through and make sure we got it correct, right? But take a look, there's only 7 line breaks required, okay? And if I hit line wrap, just to show you, okay, look at this. It is dense. There's very little white space in here, right? Just the necessary line breaks where they happen and stuff. But look at how dense that is all the way down. That's what you call quality, right? That is the way it's supposed to be done. That's what Google wants. That's one of the measurables that they want. Okay, now, when we look at our page speed of that very page, we got a 78 for mobile, okay? Not like these guys back here. Wix with their page speed was, what, a 31? And then Joomla, I think, had, what, the best or no? Yeah, 87 on mobile for Joomla. Okay, 90 on desktop, right? But no video, no Google Maps, right? And we had what again? 78 for mobile with 10 YouTube videos and 2 Google Maps. Okay, and we got a 92 for desktop, right? So their pages are static. That's the other thing I want to point out. Their pages, they just put the print in here. Okay, do you think this stuff is reading from a SQL database like var sheets? Do you think it's actually doing math on the combinations, whether random wording or going through organized sequences, column by column to produce all the contents on here? No, it's just static wording. You know how easy that is to load that? That's a piece of cake. You can generate it immediately. But us, we have to literally handcraft the wording that will appear on the page on every load. And that's not just for the main page, but that's also for the inner pages when we go to those, right? We're auto-generating those inner pages, right? All of the verbiage here and the headers here and whatever they're supposed to say, all of this page by page is just generated on the fly. So we have 50,000 pages and they're all different. Every one of them, different writing. Okay, and it's all written so well that it's human level written. Okay, it looks like a human wrote it every single time. If I show you a page written by a bot and a page written by a human and asked you which was which, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Okay, and yet we're doing that well. So we said, let's go through some of our other harder elements too. Some of the hard things to make happen. None of those sites, I think none of them, I have to go back and double check, just verify that I'm saying the right thing. Yeah, none of them have big image that takes up the whole screen. This is as close as you get. It's a background image. There's very little detail to it, right? It's not a complex image, is it? It's just a simple drawing, right? Almost like a big GIF that takes up the front page, right? And let's see the last guys. Okay, this is as close as you get, and even then, I don't know. Okay, yeah, it's not an image. The only images that are changing out is this square right here. Okay, and so that's about it for a big image that loads, right? Everything else is smaller images running down the page. That's important because I'm going to make a point about that now. So let me come back. Okay, I want to point this out. Like I said, our sitemap, look how tiny the scroll bar is and how many pages you see here. Literally all the keywords times all the cities that we would want to go for, right? And they're all perfect. Every one of these minified. Every one of these loads fast. But not just that, they cycle between different templates. And I want to point that out because some of these templates have different features. Take a look at this. Kind of looks like the same thing, but a little bigger. It's got like 3 images on the sides, more images loading here. Same thing with the links and the videos and the Google Maps and stuff, right? And all the contents and other pages and a live Google Map down here. But here's what's different. Let me refresh. This thing loads up a video. You can have the videos come in this. It handles looping video and images in any combination you want. And yeah, you can have wording glide in, you can have links, you can set the timer for how long each thing shows, okay? Again though, totally minified coding, right? You see that? If I line wrap it, you just see how dense that is. It's the same concept, right? Okay, but you go to page speed and it will be slower because video just is slower, but it's not bad. It isn't bad. Look. Yellow means neither harmful nor good necessarily. It means, hey, you're doing relatively average. But did you notice what's going on? Nothing in here is saying does not pass Core Web Vitals. Did you notice that? Nothing saying does not pass Core Web Vitals. That's important to note, right? We're passing it, okay? That's a big deal. You know how many websites are not going to pass Core Web Vitals right now? And so when we can pass it, our websites have the right to outrank many of them apples to apples simply because we're doing much better job of delivering our contents right. This is another one. We did really, really big images on purpose. This is why I was looking at the other sites to compare again. Okay, so we still got images. We still loaded up all of our YouTube videos. We still loaded up our Google Maps down here and everything, right? And we still got just average size like social icons and so on. And by the way, I think these icons are bigger than they look. I think they're constrained because that was part of what we wanted to test. But all of this being here, okay, and I mean it, these are like YouTube videos. You can play any one of them right on the spot, okay? Now, even then, it's minified coding and the page speed, 72 and 86. And that's with those massive images loading, right? And again, it passes Core Web Vitals. No notes about not passing. All right, last one. Big, big, big test, right? Let's have the big movie come in on the top on an image behind it, right? So I said it this way and we see it, right? Like crystal clear. Scroll down, there's all the stuff happening down here, imagery and everything else. Again, just stuffed it full, right? It's got all the stuff in it, okay? And we just wanted to see how it would act. And sure enough, it's all minified. Sure enough, it's at a 78 for mobile and an 84 for desktop. And that is just as loaded as it can possibly be, right? What would happen if I took 9 of those YouTube videos out? Because who has 10 YouTube videos on a page normally anyway? like on their homepage. Not usually. I can leave them in. That's okay. You know, it's strategy, which pages you want to make load faster. You can make the inner pages of the website load faster because I don't need to carry all of the template design, right? Because people don't like that when they browse your site and they, you know, you got your big banners and everything. If you go to an inner page and the big banner loads again, they don't even know if they clicked the right link, right? So mostly the inner pages of a website don't carry all that heavy weight, okay? But as far as the front page goes, we still got these scores up with all of that in there. What do you think would happen to the scores if I took most of those YouTube videos out and took out that second Google Maps? Because really, who needs 2 Google Maps on the page? And the answer is the scores would shoot up, right? All that stuff, the scores shoot up. The only reason we show this way is to show what would happen if you ask the opposite question. Dave, I see the scores are fast with no videos and no Google Maps in the page, but what if you add 1 video? What if you add 2? What if you add a Google map in the page? And what if you add 1 in the sidebar, right? So we already did the big, heavy version of the page first just to make the point crystal clear. Okay, now here's what I want to say because it really is important. If you go to website-installer.com, okay, every template that we have, and we're like going through a stack of these things right now, so you're going to see them kind of shift around, right? Some get added and so on, and you wanted to get any template that we had, like for anything, right? So if I just went to all, and I just load everything, and I just start scrolling, any of these, if you get it, it'll install to your website. Your domain name of choice, you just put it in during the order. Every one of these, you can see the live demo and you can get the details where you can make the purchase, okay? And if you get any of these, we will make sure to upgrade it to the latest coding for you. It will have all of those standards, okay? And a bunch of other things that we haven't even covered yet because we'll cover them in the subsequent videos just to cover the different things that we did that made these rock. Right now, these websites are ultra competitive, and the world just doesn't know it yet. They have more ease of use and more overall functionality than websites you can get from probably anybody. And yet, they are easier to handle, manage, and make rank than anyone. So all those templates, when you buy them, they're not necessarily updated yet because we're going through them in stacks. We're getting them updated. But anything you buy, hey, that was important to you, and we will make sure to update that thing pretty quick, like a day or 2 after your purchase. Okay, I wanted to make that point. Here's another point. If you go to themedhtml.com to this list of templates over here, templates, okay, this is not the same templates. When I start scrolling down, these are different templates, okay? Some of them we repeated with different color schemes just to make the point that, yeah, I mean, we can do anything with any of these templates. You know, a template that looks like it's for driveway contractors does not have to be for driveway contractors. It can be for anything. So if you like that design or layout and you want to apply it to your thing, whatever it is, law office or who knows what, then that can be done. All you do is change the colors if you want, change the images, change the wording, change the logo, and voila, that's it. Your template works for your industry of choice. So never let a template fool you by seeming to belong to a very specific industry. It doesn't. You can use any template for anything you want. Having said that, these are different. They have different fields and stuff. And so these are just different. So whenever you want to get any of these templates, again, same exact thing. We will update it to the latest standards so it loads super fast and it's really powerful. And it has all the other functions that I'm going to cover in the relevant videos for this. Okay, so if you guys are ordering now, 2 bonuses. One, it's only $125 each. So you guys can stack up on these if you really want. Okay, you don't just have to get one. Also, for those of you who feel like getting 20, we will automatically add software installer and we will add your stack of 20, your choice, to it. Okay. Or you could say choose for me if you want us to create a whole stack of these that we happen to like very much that are all very different. And we'll go ahead and update those things and get them in your software installer. And that way, for those of you who understand what that's all about, it means you can install these templates anytime you want, Yeah, sorry. This template hasn't been updated yet, but that's at the bottom of the list. I'm not surprised. These are cool. They have really nice, smooth feels to them. Nice, good way that the images pull through in the background. You can get this kind of an effect. I'm quite sure that this can be switched to parallax so that it can have that motion behind the screen feel to it. All right. And these are some really powerful templates in their own right. Like even with the team members here, you can literally have different social icons of your choice. You can choose them from a drop-down list and put the links into each different member's Facebook, whatever. It could be Instagram, could be Twitter, for each team member you have. So it's kind of neat because you can really brand some of the guys that you would want to brand. There are lots of options. But we can stick them into your software installer and you can install them over and over again and use them for different clients, different affiliates, different purposes. And there's another bonus that comes with this. We also have something called a UAP, Universal Affiliate Pages, where we have generic verbiage that can be plugged and played into the websites. That's all spin text, but professionally done so that it reads at a human level, page by page, guaranteed. And that spin text version can be plugged and played into all these templates. And that's a bonus that people are going to get when they're ordering at the 125 level now. So just so you know, that's no joke because we're outfitting literally all the templates with that. So you know how you would go and buy a template and it's got lorem ipsum all throughout it, or it just says, "Hello world," and that's it. And now you have to figure out what you want to say to sell your thing or to promote your thing. With our templates, it's already pre-written in such a way you can produce thousands of pages on your website. And all you have to do is open an Excel file, put in your list of locations, if you care, it's optional. Put in your keywords, put in your destination URLs, where it is you want people to really go to continue, to go here to browse the selection or schedule a call or see the options or whatever it is, or to buy now. Okay, so you put in those destination URLs. And then if you want to put company info, if you happen to have company information, you can put in company names, street addresses, city, state, zip, phone numbers, email addresses. And that way, when you're producing your pages, it's going to create subdomains for every one of those companies with their own websites, with their own sitemaps. Okay, really, really huge productions just popped up like that. And you can use those to backlink other companies. You can use them as like affiliate sites to drive people to those companies through your affiliate link. That would be the URLs you put on your websites. So really, really powerful. And for the combinations, this is a good way to go. Okay. Now, UTO content is the next level up of contents where we custom write content for you and fit it through your templates. But UAP is a general purpose content layout that's great. It's 1,000 words per page, 5 pages, covers all these basic topics, and just looks good. The real attention should be on the videos, on the click here now buttons, whatever it is. It's mostly print that people can kind of glance through, but it's helping rank you and backlink you and get power to you and basically just showing up whatever message you're trying to put in there. Whether you're selling lipstick or you're selling used cars, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so UAP's general purpose for all of that. And then if you decide you want to upgrade to UTO content, we have a whole discussion about that separate. For those of you who've seen it, you've already gotten into it, you understand what that's all about. And it basically means we write exactly the pages you want written and then create unlimited variations of that at the press of a button that are all human readable and totally cool. It's like creating all the content for the industry, whatever topic you write about. Even if you wanted 1,000 affiliates or 1,000 sites to act like affiliates, then they will all be so humanly written as far as anyone can tell, even though they're different. So Google will index them and treat them appropriately because they look like they were written by different people. Okay? There you go. So the power is pretty insane. Now, all I want to point out on theme to HTML, because it's just easier to see all the power on theme to HTML if you come here, just to point this out. When you go to the order form here, okay, I want to make this point. you just fill in the information, and whatever template you want, here's the thing. You just get this, the Core Web Vitals deal for $125. You just say yes to that. The only other thing, tell us your domain name and your email address. Okay? There are other things that it'll ask about, like, do you need a cPanel? You don't right now because it's part of this deal. It comes with a cPanel. Comes with the new UAP content. Comes with other things I haven't even discussed yet. Okay, new HTML minification fonts, videos, maps, and web WEBP image inserts. Okay, that's the image format created by Google. So you just really choose that. And when you scroll down, your grand total is $125, and you buy it. And it tells you what to do with the domain. It's so simple. If you don't have a domain name, get one from GoDaddy. You can do it by clicking this link. It'll open in a new tab. And then when you enter your domain name, the only thing you have to do is set the name servers, okay, to here and here. And if you don't know how to do that, just ask GoDaddy support. Call them on the phone. They'll walk you through how to do this because it's not hard. And their support is really awesome. Okay, the only other point I want to make, if you're saying, how do I get the right template name or number? There's a shortcut. This is so cool. So we built this in because it's just helpful, okay? Because when you scroll down and you choose one of these and go, I want that one, right? And you hit buy now, okay? Well, look at the name. It's eLife Coach 1, right? That's the point, that these names are down here. But if you hit buy now, when it takes you there to the order form, it puts it in for you for the template, okay? So that way it's the right one. We're not going to give you the wrong one. If we give you the wrong one, no problem. We'll give you the right one. Don't you worry, okay? If you got one and you don't like it for a particular reason, you want to trade it out for another one, we'll trade it out for another one. Whole reason that we're trying to bend with you guys and work with you guys, bend backwards and keep the price low, is exactly because you're helping us fund the upgrading of the coding throughout the entire template stack for general purposes, throughout the entire system, right? For everybody. So the more you're getting, the better it is for everyone. In the meantime, there is a thing down here called software installer, and this is what I'm saying for the whole deal of what's going on. Software installer is a really big thing. It's normally $2,500, okay? And once you would normally buy that separately, then whatever templates you buy and put in there, you can just install over and over and over again. You can have one domain, but you can do 160 different projects on it, like different subdomains. Software Installer allows you to install the same template to 160 subdomains of your domain for 160 different purposes. They can be for the same industry, different industry. You can install different templates to those different subdomains and run different projects so that you can have a project for one program, another project for another, another for another, even if it's all in one domain name. And if you have 2, 3, 4, 5 domain names, then you can stack your projects on each of them. It's really, really cool. But the deal right now is if you want to get 20 of these, okay, then we'll get you a software installer. And come to think of it, it might be easier just to make the one payment for the software installer here, okay, when I come to think of it, and just turn this thing off instead of hitting yes up here for the Core Web Vitals. Just do that. Make the purchase at the $2,500 level, and then browse through all the templates from Website Installer and all the templates from Theme to HTML, and just make a list of the ones you want. And just send it to me in an email. That way it will create your software installer account, and we will update all of your templates to the latest coding, and then we will put them into your software installer account, okay? And that way you can start installing them wherever you want, all right? Just unlimited installations, okay? Software installer is, you have access for a year. After that, it's a $500 per year re-app, but that's fine because even if you don't want to re-app it, you install those websites all year long wherever you want in, however many domains you got, however many installations you did, up to about 160 per domain. Don't go more because you have just too much stuff on one domain, too many databases and so on, so it'll just start to slow down. So you would rather get more domains and spread it out, but that's fine. That's not a big deal, right? Domains are just $10, $12 each. So it's not a big deal. Anyway, once you install them, you've got them. Okay. So even if your software installer, you let it run out for a while, it doesn't matter because you still got all your websites uploaded. You still got them live on all your accounts. Okay. So there you go. That's the way to go. Now, when you talk about renewals by the year, our cPanels, because our templates are so powerful, they really need to be loaded onto our servers because we had to tweak the servers. We had to actually buy the servers and tweak the servers to make them work with our software. So we said, okay, well, you're kind of stuck with our hosting, so we're going to keep it cheap. So for every cPanel you have where you would attach a domain name, okay, that's just $50 a year. All right. And you can put add-on domains on there, although I would never recommend it because you will rank better if you have if you have each domain name on a different cPanel. Okay. Something to keep in mind. So if you want to get the best result, get different cPanels, one domain each. So just think your renewal per year is a domain name plus a cPanel, and that's it. That's it. And then just optionally, you can re-op your software installer at $500 a year and just keep right on trucking, right? Make more websites for more projects, get bigger. Okay, so if you want to go that route, you can go that route. So I'm just putting all this out for all of you guys at all of your own budgeting levels. If you start buying in some templates and then you decide that you want to go ahead and upscale right away, you can do that too. Just get a hold of me, or make the purchase. It's just easier though. If you know you're going to go big, go big. If you don't know you're going to go big, go with however many you want to go with in the first place. We'll just start setting them up. Okay. Do expect that it'll take, some few days for us to get those things converted and out there on your accounts. So we'll be liberal. When you make the purchase, we're not going to start the timer at that time. We'll start the year timer for re-ops and your cPanel and everything at the time that we get your website installed properly with the upgrades done. Okay. Now, future upgrades that have to do with just basic set points, right? Like whatever else we can do down in these settings here to get this thing even higher for desktop and mobile, those are free. Okay, so don't worry about extra charges for those. Once you're on the inside and you paid for these templates, then that's just it. This is a group effort to catch everyone's stuff up. And we're just going to do the upgrades behind the scenes for you to make your sites faster for the next year for free. Okay. So we'll put a cap of a year on it because we just always need to put a cap of a year on everything. It's just protecting ourselves. But in the meantime, we keep the costs low. The cPanel cost has been $50 since God knows when. A decade now? Something like that. $50 a year. Nice and cheap. Okay. There you go. There's what you've got. By the way, if you want to do it a different way, you can come to Website Marketing Solutions and you can say, start doing backlinking projects for me. So whether you buy it like this level, that level, or that level, instead of us giving you the templates, we're setting up the templates ourselves and creating the backlinking projects for you. It does mean something different, though. It means that you have no control over the websites. You don't get to log into them and change them or anything, but you get 10 times as many. Okay, so we create them, we put them out, we update them, we backlink your stuff with them, we do all the work with them. You don't, but you get 10 times as many of those websites backlinking your main project, whatever it is. Okay, so if you did want to get one of our templates over here, or 20, and then come in here and get some of these projects and spread the backlinks around through all of those projects, do you realize how strong you can make your projects? Really, really powerful. And then, of course, for those of you who say, well, is there an organized level of power even higher than that? Get a hold of me. We have a $15,000 program for those of you that can do that. That goes through literally a massive 6,000 website project plus full-scale directory combination. Okay, so for those of you that wonder how you can monetize on that, there are different ways to do it. They're really cool. For those of you that know how you would monetize on that, then that is the biggest bang you can get for the buck that we are offering live to the public right now. Okay, so you can just give me a call. Okay, my phone number is at the top of all my websites, right? So, you can just give me a call. And if you miss me, leave a voicemail. Let me know who to call back. And I'll get a hold of you and we'll talk it through and make sure that we understand what we're doing in a way that makes sense for you. Okay? Then we'll go ahead and crank it into motion at whatever level you need. whatever it is you want to accomplish. Okay, I hope you found this interesting. If you're not subscribed to my channel, I would recommend getting subscribed because a lot of you aren't following me on an email list really. And you do want to be notified, so I'd hit the bell because we are going through a series of extremely powerful website updates back to back. And we've been doing this for a long time, but I haven't even scratched the surface of what some of the upgrades we've done recently are all about. Okay, this is just the ground basis of what you're getting when you get it. Okay, I can't wait to service you, so can't wait to see you get started. Give me a call or buy something and we'll go forward.